Hello, everyone. We're here to discuss Insight and Cisco and the new release of EA 3.0 that Cisco is launching, I believe, next month and will become more readily available for all of your partners. But as of today, Insight has the capabilities to be working with EA 3.0. My name is Jennifer Tilton. I am the partner manager for the Cisco software and services business, and I have two of my colleagues here. I'd let them introduce themselves. Jeff, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Jeff Sicaro. I am the Partner Software and Services Manager for Insight at Cisco. I've been at Cisco for about 8.5 years. I've been in roles in sales and software and customer success. So I'm really excited to be working with Insight, who has just made tremendous investments in all of those areas and has been such a great partner for us on the enterprise agreements. So Amanda, over to you.
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you, Jennifer. Hello, everyone. I'm Amanda Dalzell, and I'm the Senior Manager of the Insight Cisco Software Practice. I have oversight along with an exceptional team of our Cisco SaaS, as well as our software, our enterprise agreements business. We also have responsibility for customer success. So I'm really pleased to be able to speak with Jeff and Jennifer today around EA 3.0 and all of Insight's capabilities here as well. Thank you.
Thank you, both Amanda and Jeff, for joining me today, and everyone who's watching. So I do have a little bit of an agenda. We're really going to start with what is an enterprise agreement, how Cisco's enterprise agreements are different from what you might think of, and then right into what is different, what is special about the EA 3.0 option, as well as the capabilities and what it means for businesses such as yours. Lastly, we have our Insight capabilities and what we can do for you as a partner. And next is the next session we're looking at is life cycle approach, and really looking at your business and really the kind of cradle to grave thought process of, the first sale till all the way when ultimately it will need to be refreshed, as unfortunately things are. Jeff, can you tell us a little more about what an enterprise agreement actually is?
Yeah, sure, Jen. So an enterprise agreement is really a purchasing mechanism to be able to have all of your licensing in one place that's easy for you to buy, manage, and consume. Really provides our customers with a great value in being adaptable to their changing business needs. And it really gives our customers the ability to reach a quicker time to value by not having to spend so much time and effort managing different licenses and contracts. And it also allows our customers to have a better total cost of ownership on our contracts, being that they're not over consuming in ways where, traditional buying methods, they might have to pre-scope and buy everything up front. So it really is a great improvement in a way to purchase software on a subscription basis, and just really gives our customers a lot of agility and scalability in the way that they're managing their software.
That's really exciting, and to learn about enterprise agreements on their own right. A couple of the things that I find really exciting about Cisco's in particular are the differences that they have. One of the things that I'm never fond of are true ups, where I'm all of a sudden my bill is due and I have to pay for all the extra usage I did over the last month, 2 months, year, whatever the time frame may be. And Cisco's actually come out with their true forward mechanism, which is great. You saw the value in the software you purchased, you used it, you even grew your business and continued to consume. And rather than charge you going backwards, we're only going to charge you going forward for those additional licenses. And so that's what they're calling a true forward. I really love that thought process, and it really does encourage that organic growth. Speaking of which, several of the architectures include an organic growth allowance. So it actually gives you some additional licenses that they're hoping that you do use and you are seeing the value of as you're going through the life cycle of your contract. Lastly is that predictable spend. So a lot of the architectures have a built-in not to exceed pricing, which is nice that I know from a predictability and a financial standpoint that if I'm going to overconsume, this is the amount that I'm going to end up paying because this is what it was per license in the beginning. So all of those things I think are really key and differentiating for the Cisco Enterprise Agreement. I do wonder, what does that mean about EA 3.0? Jeff, can you tell us some more about 3.0?
Yeah, sure, absolutely, Jen. So 3.0 is a new change in our enterprise agreement that's really going to be focused on more availability of our different technologies and more multi-architecture solutions. Along with that, we're going to have a much lower barrier of entry. So we want our customers to be able to take advantage of the enterprise agreement at any level, and we want them to be able to see the power in consuming multi-architecture technology suites. And we'll talk about those solutions a little bit later in the presentation. Another new thing about EA 3.0 is the concept of flexible suite types. So this allows our customers to actually have technologies in the enterprise agreement without having to make a dollar or an implementation type of commitment. So this will allow our customers to be able to include those important technologies like security or collaboration without having to say that they're going to make an enterprise decision to roll that out on a large scale. And we see that being ever so important these days because our customers are facing a lot of changing requirements in maybe the way that they're securing remote offices or providing remote worker services. So as our customer environments continue to change, we want them to be able to access our full technology of world-class software and solutions. Also, with the comprehensive solutions, we have made it a lot easier once our customers have a fully committed suite to be able to add security or services to any agreement. And that's going to be really important to our customers because, again, just the way that things are changing right now, there's a lot of uncertainty in future environments, and maybe some of our customers don't have staff that's in the office able to get together and make adoption and implementation decisions and discussions. So the service levels that we're providing under EA 3.0 are really going to pair the best of Cisco and the best of Insight technologies to be able to make sure that our customers get up and running and get the most out of their technology investment as soon as possible. And then we're also adding this concept of value shift between our enterprise networking suites. So with DNA and Meraki, we're giving our customers the option to be able to switch licenses back and forth between our traditional DNA licenses and our cloud-based Meraki suite. So we do see, of course, a lot of changes in how our customers are deploying and implementing, and even, just what an office means or looks like these days. So, of course, with Meraki, we provide a lot of flexible deployment options and a lot of management options through the cloud. But then, of course, we also still have our enterprise-focused DNA wireless and networking options available as well. So as those requirements change for our customers and as the business landscape continues to change, we want them to have as many options as possible and how they want to deploy their enterprise networking technologies.
That's great, and really exciting prospects out of that. I know this next slide has a lot of things that you've already kind of touched on, and one of the ones that I'd like to comment on is this value shift idea between Meraki and DNA. I know that there's been product slowdowns, what with the pandemic and everything else, that getting some of those hardware pieces has been more difficult, and that the lead times on Meraki devices has been less in comparison to the DNA equipment. So the fact that some of those licenses can be used back and forth without any penalty really does add value to the enterprise agreement in its own right.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Is there any others that you want to comment here? Sorry, thank you.
No, yeah, just in general, I mean, software, the way that, there's, quite frankly, every company is facing material shortages and shipping delays. it's a worldwide issue right now. So just even harnessing the flexibility and the power of EA 3.0 is going to mean a lot to our customers in terms of being able to add advanced solutions that maybe they hadn't been thinking about 24 months ago. So, something like putting a virtual phone under a collaboration solution on somebody's computer so they can work as a remote worker, and being able to secure that with, our VPN solutions or whatever it may be. I think that the EA is going to give our customers a lot of flexibility in being able to adapt to those ever-changing requirements.
I was going to
That's
mention
really,
too, Jennifer, when we look at EA 3.0, Insight's a pilot partner, right? So we've had earlier access, earlier exposure. As a result, our clients have had more access or earlier access. And Jeff, we're hearing that right out of the gate, the flexibility that our customers are really seeing, and it's making it very appealing to them. So really, it seems like it's going to be very good for our customers coming up more in the future.
Absolutely.
one,
Good point, Amanda.
one of the other comments you had made was lower threshold barriers to be able to get into an enterprise agreement with this 3.0. That really does open the door to smaller businesses that really haven't had the historical spend to get into and see the benefits of enterprise agreements. This is a game changer for that.
Yeah, absolutely, Jen. We want as many organizations and companies as possible to be able to access the power and the benefits of an enterprise agreement, and we want them to be able to access more of it. So we're adding more technologies such as Meraki, App Dynamics, Thousand Eyes. We're adding those all under one enterprise agreement now, and we're building those into different solutions that we'll see later on in the presentation as well. So we've seen the trend in our customers to want to deploy more advanced solutions like a zero trust architecture or full stack observability. Why can't I say that? FSO. Maybe that's why we just call it FSO. we see we see our customers wanting to be able to deploy those solutions, and for a company to stand up and say that they're going to make a six-figure commitment on every single one of those technologies to be able to implement something that's multi-architecture like that just sometimes isn't feasible. So we really did lower the barrier to entry on the EA 3.0 and give our customers the flexibility with partial commitment suites to be able to have access to as much of our solutions as possible.
That's great. And yeah, you were talking about, what those constructs really look like. And here is actually that slide right now.
Yeah, so what you'll see at the core of EA 3.0 is it's built up of 5 portfolios. And kind of the icing on the cake of the portfolios is service and security, which could really be added very easily and very little cost to any other technology domain. But you'll see those portfolios will make up product suites. So when we look at security, that's made up from products like ICE, products like Umbrella and Duo that our customers are all already consuming. But then when we start putting those together into solutions, then we start getting plays like Zero Trust and security platform and FSO. And that's really important because, as we mentioned, these are all solutions and technologies that our customers are wanting to deploy, but to be able to buy all of the individual components at traditional EA entry levels would just be a huge dollar amount commitment for our customers. So to be able to just focus on the portfolio alone and a commitment to the portfolio and maybe a partial commitment to another portfolio, that'll allow our customers the flexibility to be able to create these type of solutions like Zero Trust without having to make these huge enterprise-wide decisions and these huge dollar commitments.
That's really informative. I know one of the other benefits to enterprise agreements is the co-term ability, so to speak, that it does all stay very seamless. So you have the start date, you have your end date. So even if you're growing or changing or adding additional commitments, you're still going to keep that same timeline. So it really does increase that predictability, which is, I think, a huge asset.
Yeah, that's a great point, Jen. Under the EA 3.0, since all these technologies are available under one contract now, that's really how the enterprise agreement's written. So our customers are going to have one date for all of these technologies. It's not like before where they're going to have a separate collaboration EA and a separate security EA. They're just having one enterprise agreement, and that enterprise agreement is co-termed across all the technologies. And also that really simplifies the terms and agreements at the beginning too. So we want our customers to be able to have quicker access to the technology, and we want our partners also to, be able to get in these conversations with the customer earlier about how do they actually adopt and implement these technologies instead of, signing a bunch of paperwork and taking that kind of time.
Well, and that really leads to, Amanda's conversation that we've got coming up is what are Insight's capabilities to streamline the process and to be of assistance to our clients and our customers when it comes to their enterprise agreements.
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks, Jeff, for teeing me up there. As you're talking too about EA 3.0, you've mentioned excited, and it makes me really excited for our public sector clients who previously maybe didn't look at EAs or didn't think that it was a right fit for them. So I'm really excited to bring enterprise agreements from Cisco to Insight Public Sector. And some of the things that we do then to support enterprise agreements would be looking at what is the purchase, what is the reason, the why behind the purchase. So what is the outcome? What is the means that the business is trying to move towards, and how do we help them? So we'll outline with Cisco a success plan so that we're very sure of who is doing what to support the business outcomes, how we are each providing value in supporting the shared client, and establishing that CSP, the client success plan, and then visiting quarterly so that we're looking at some of the things that Jen and Jeff, you mentioned about consumption and usage. We want to make sure that, Jen, you mentioned not being caught off guard, so that people are aware of where they are tracking, how they're tracking on their enterprise agreements. So we'll be looking at their contract management overall, making sure that they're properly educated at the beginning so that there aren't any gotchas and that people are seeing all of the value, really experiencing all of the value. We'll provide workshops around that so that we can understand what is the vision, what is the outcome, and how can we help to get our clients there by working with them around onboarding. And of course, you've mentioned the annual True Forward. We never want anything to be a surprise, so we'll have those regular touch points. Not everyone would want to meet on a quarterly basis. Some prefer to meet more initially and then continue in that same cadence, or we really want to customize this. So we have not a one-size program or a one-size-fits-all program, but we really look to see how with a high touch or digital support, we can best support our clients with their EAs, even to the point then of offering our premium services, which is what I described along that standard track, but a little bit more deeper. And then also certainly including our technical resources. And Insight has just a plethora of experts around Cisco technology. So however we can engage and work with our solutions experts, our architects, we really want to bring the best of Insight to the Cisco EA experience, especially now around 3.0, so that everyone can be successful.
Well put. I don't know how much more well put we could make that, with the exception
I do,
of...
Jen.
Oh, go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead. I
Please.
shy. Let us know.
I think it's worth mentioning that Insight is a CX Advanced partner for Cisco. So Insight has made the investments in their people and their processes, and Cisco has validated that they bring the best to the table of our processes in the life cycle adoption and consumption for our product. So they're definitely acting with the best of our customer in mind, and acting in a manner that helps our customer get the most out of their investment with Cisco.
Thank you, Jeff. I like when you boast and brag for us.
I'm happy to do
Well,
that.
thank you. And speaking of which, some of those program requirements involved needing specific people in specific roles. Can you elaborate a little bit on that, Amanda? I know we have a slide that kind of goes with that.
Sure. We talked about having those touch points and outlining success plans. A key person or a main driver in that would be our customer success managers. So to a varying degree, then each account is assigned a customer success manager to help on the EA journey, where they will be able to help manage and track consumption, and really, again, making sure that everything is well thought out, well planned out, and then visible throughout the experience so that customers know exactly where they stand and how we can help them to keep moving along with their software investments. We'll also, I mentioned technology resources. We'll work with our adoption consultants so that we're helping everyone to achieve their business outcomes. And, we're very closely tied to our SmartNet team so that we're looking at all of the licensing that's included in traditional SmartNet and how we might be able to convert that, especially now with 3.0 and the different barriers to that, how we can convert some of that licensing into a more seamless enterprise agreement.
Well put, well put. And thank you both so much for your input today. I do want to add on to that. I know a lot of people have had some experience, if you've been in the Cisco world, with SmartNet contracts and the idea of a letter of authorization and what that entails, which I want to reassure everyone that there is no commitment. Signing one does not mean you have to work with Insight and only Insight or whomever the partner is you're working with. It simply gives the partner the opportunity, and in this case it's Insight, the opportunity to have another look at your environment as it stands with no information in regards to who you're currently working with or where you've purchased. What it does do is it lets us help in developing or making suggestions on developing your software strategy. To Amanda's point, things are changing and software is changing, and some of it is no longer renewable in the historical SmartNet sense. Most specifically and most currently is our collaboration environment, where our call manager was done through perpetual licensing and could be renewed via SmartNet. That's actually been stopped at this point, and you can no longer renew it in that sense. Instead, it's moved to a subscription-based platform that can also fall under the enterprise agreement. So we would really like to ask that you take an opportunity to sign an LOA, letter of authorization, or an LOCC, which is a letter of customer consent, and allow us to provide that complimentary assessment of your Cisco environment and what Cisco sees for your environment. This allows us to help show where there might be some places that there could use some digital readiness, help with a software roadmap going forward, as well as identifying any of those hardware refresh opportunities or evaluations that need to be made. It gives everyone, yourself, ourselves, our engineers, and Cisco, a real complete picture of the environment as it is, and allows you to see where there may be some holes or gaps, or where there's some equipment that you might not realize is still active in your environment that really has some security potential risks. So I do say thank you again for your time. Please look out for our thank you email and look out for our next webinar, which is really going to be about the life cycle, why am I forgetting the word? But it is the life cycle engagement going forward. So again, I thank you all. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, everyone.